Good Tuesday, everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of Pins on Campus, where Jonathan and we're going to talk college bowling and anything else that we want to talk about. And Jonathan, we have a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we got a big show. We got a lot of different subjects to cover in a short amount of time.
We have a special guest. Doug Smith is going to join us close to the top of the hour. Why? Because we have a big announcement pertaining to something that is going to take place for the first time in the history of college bowling. And you and I have worked our tails off to get to this point. And with the help of a lot of people, it's going to happen. And we're going to talk about it tonight. Obviously, Doug Smith, the head coach at Muskingum, they are involved in what is going to make history in the month of September 2026. And we're going to have Doug on to talk about it and really kind of set things up for the event that is going to take place in Oklahoma City. But before we get to that, somebody wants to eat. Dog hungry?
I guess. I
don't have any pets in the studio here, so I'm sorry, man. We could match dog food, I guess. Wet or dry? Wet or dry?
You got to have a mix.
A mix.
Yeah.
All right. Feed the dog before the show next time, Jonathan, okay?
No, I mean, she's already ate, so there's probably a squirrel walking on the front porch or something.
Okay. Understandable. All right. We had an outstanding recruiting trip to Columbus, Ohio for the National High School Championships, and we're going to talk about that for a little bit. Mike, this dude puts on an amazing event, 64 lanes of jam-packed youth bowlers, all high school student athletes, and we saw a show. We saw everything from house balls to people using, top of the line stuff and going 200 over in 4 games at qualifying. So quite the wide variety, but I know you and I witnessed some great players. That's right in Doug's stomping ground there. So he knew a lot of the players already, but the only event in the country where you have that much talent and student athletes that are in a high school in one place at one time over a 3-day period. And I can honestly say I have really identified some great student athletes for 2027 and 2028. What are your thoughts, Jonathan?
Yeah, I was my first time there. You'd gone last year. I was just surprised. I mean, I don't know if surprised is the right word, but I was just in awe of just the pure mass of student athletes that was there. Yeah. But then out of that mass, I mean, a vast majority of quality student athletes as well. High school bowling nationwide runs the gamut of a bunch of different skill levels and levels of involvement and school support. But to see all those teams there, to see all the players that bowled singles as well, it was just a fantastic event. I'd say probably one of the most well-run events I've ever seen as well.
Yeah.
Squad started on time. People were able to get in and out of the building really efficiently. They had a really nice paddock set up for the players. They made it to where the spectators had access to everything they needed access to really well. The mechanics of the center were impeccable. We checked out the little camera they had to keep an eye on the machines behind the front counter. That was really cool. They could move around with the joystick and see what the mechanics were doing and stuff. And so just a top-notch facility, top-notch tournament, and really good talent. And I think it rivals any other of the larger youth tournaments in the country for its level of ability for us to go make some damage happen.
Agree. Forget about junior gold. That's a totally different animal. For one event, a single event in one bowling center and one bowling center only. Just an amazing event. Now, as what we are trying to do with college bowling, there are a couple of things that I think Mike can do to just make it a little better, and it has nothing to do with the center, with the environment, with the format. It's just a small, minor detail that is an easy fix. Any idea what that is? What I would recommend to make it just a little bit better.
Go for it.
No idea.
No.
He needs to do a better job at providing the information from the tournament on the web, either via the website or via Facebook, because there were people that were trying to follow the event to see how it progressed. And he did get what the cut line was each round posted very quickly, but you could not see what the student athletes were doing from a scoring pace.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix.
See that. Yeah.
That's an easy fix. But I'm telling you, folks, Jonathan and I, me being the old guy here, I've seen a lot of youth tournaments, and it was flawless. And we're gonna get into some of the details just from a recruiting standpoint and give our take on a couple of things and everything. But first, kudos to the parents and the friends and family that allowed us to engage with them and talk about the opportunities that exist for their son or daughter to bowl in college. And I've got a list of bullet points right here that are just shout outs. Okay. And my first shout out is going to go to the team from Maryland. You know why, Jonathan?
Why?
Oh, come on, man. They had names and numbers on the backs of their jerseys. Not only that, they had some studs. Let me tell you, they
did. And
players.
What stuck out to me with that group, because we spent some time with that group, we were just enamored by what was going on. Okay. Yeah. But man, those parents, they were loud and proud. The students, awesome. I mean, they were, we would hear cheering, so we had to go check it out.
Yeah.
So we end up standing in the middle of this group of parents from Maryland, and they're like, well, who are you guys? And we just start talking to them, and they were an incredible watch all weekend. I mean, some really talented players coming out of that state that I frankly had no idea.
Yeah. Now, on the women's side, obviously a lot of opportunities for the women, especially the upper tier student athletes from an ability standpoint. They have a lot of options on the East Coast and kind of in that area. But the guys, they have options, but at the same time, man, they are talented. They have some talent in Maryland. But the jerseys, best jerseys of the event. Sorry.
You don't think about it until you're in this setting, but how much easier, Mark, is it to recruit when there's a name plastered on the back of the jersey? A name that is legible,
visible,
on the back of the jersey.
Readable.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's one of my other bullet points. Kudos to all the coaches and the schools that had names on the back of their jerseys of the players. Now, even major props to the ones that had the graduation year on the sleeve.
Yes.
That is big time.
That's something we're starting to see more of, I think. At least here in Texas, a lot of schools are just doing that standard now, but that is also very helpful.
All right. Another one of the bullet points, in a competitive environment, I saw a complete array of sportsmanship. The sportsmanship that existed during this event, it was kind of like they were pushing and kind of motivating every other team, but they were doing it in a way that was competitive. And the conversations that took place when the bowling wasn't taking place, and come on, folks, I'm not talking just about, oh, hey, nice spot. No, you could see it. You could see the engagement that was taking place between all the players during competition, before competition, and after competition. And that makes for a really cool event for the student athletes.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that.
Do you have any bullet points?
Just in the old dome up here, the Maryland group was incredible. I mean, just the information they were giving us and the conversations they were holding with us, extremely beneficial. I will even go to say their players were also one of the more reactive groups to talking directly with us, both in the practices and then in qualifying. The coaches who, when we would ask a simple question, would go down the roster and tell us about every student was amazing. We ran into quite a few of those teams, and coaches that were honest and open with the information as well about certain attributes of each athlete, because they know we're there recruiting a specific type of athletes to fill specific roles within our teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so some coaches gave us great information. Even some coaches walked us over to parents to introduce us to the parents, which was amazing as well, because just that little extra introduction makes a big difference. Helps us get that conversation started a little quicker. It's a little more pointed and intentional when we do start it. There were some parents there that were having a good time as well.
With us. We
ran into a few that were having a great time, and they were just enjoying watching their son or daughter bowl, but cutting it up with us, cracking jokes. You had the stack of cash walking around.
And
one of the parents was giving you a hard time about doing that in the state of Ohio. That might not be the best idea, which I thought was hilarious because they're from Ohio. But, it was just from start to finish, the people were incredible. The coaches did a lot. But I just go back to the main 2 bullet points were just how everything was on time, and it showcased a lot of athletes in one event, and that's all we could ask for. I do agree that the scoring with today's modern day technology, there could be some solutions there to get things updated a little bit quicker, or have it be more interactive. But that I know that Mike talks to the coaches and talks to people between the tournaments, and so that's feedback that I'm sure he'll receive, and he just. The vibe I got from him, he just wants to make the event as good as possible.
Yeah.
He knows it's about the student athletes and this championship. And so they did a great job. My only other bullet point has nothing to do with the tournament. It was about the travel, but I'm sure we'll touch on that in a moment.
It was a challenge to get to Columbus, Ohio. We were supposed to be on the same flight. I was flying down to Dallas, and then we were going to be on the same flight from Dallas to Columbus. And I ended up going from Oklahoma City, flew over Dallas, went on to Houston, landed in Houston, deplaned in Houston. Then they told me that I wasn't going to get to Columbus until like 7 o'clock that night, which couldn't happen because then I was going to miss all of the practice session, and that wasn't going to be a good thing. So then I start scrambling. I figure out, hey, there's a flight from Austin, Texas, of all places, to Columbus, Ohio. I get on that flight. We get to Austin after sitting on the tarmac for almost 2 hours because all of this was related to weather. And then finally, Jonathan is there at the airport around 5 o'clock, picks me up, and we're able to make 2 of the practice sessions. And we had a blast at those practice sessions.
Yep. Not to mention, while you are flying over Dallas, I am sitting in the airport in Dallas, and the power goes out 20 minutes before we're supposed to board my flight to
That's not good.
Columbus. That wasn't good. We all just sat around and looked at each other in the airport because I don't know if you've ever been in an airport when the power goes out. It is an odd experience.
I have not.
It is really weird. But our flight was only delayed about 2 hours, and I was still there. But it gave me plenty of time to go get the rental car, grab a couple bites to eat, and then here comes Mr. Jeffries walking out right by the baggage claim with your Starbucks.
Yeah.
Ready to rock? So you're ready to go. But I'm glad we made those 2 practice sessions because that was a big help for the weekend.
Yeah.
Establishing some of those relationships early. It's a lot easier to watch some of those practice sessions as well. It's a little bit thinner of a audience, and so we can get a little bit closer. We can walk around a little bit easier.
We're not in the way. We're just not in the way during the practice session, so it was good.
No.
All right, a couple more things real quick, and then, as I mentioned, we're going to have Doug Smith on here just in a few minutes, but really close to the top of the hour. I do want to mention the staff at the bowling center, especially the general manager, Jonathan. He brought his A game. Yeah. And he was so helpful in telling us characteristics about the bowling center that we had no idea.
Yep.
And this bowling center is just a center that is truly made for tournament play.
Yep.
Agree?
Yep.
And I don't know his name, but he rocked it.
Yeah, he was talking about how it was designed for the PBA events and how there was another center in Ohio too that was created just like it. They were kind of identical, and the age of the panels and some characteristics of the house shot and how the scoring pace usually is and the carry in there usually is. And so he was a really good discussion. Great to talk to, gave us good information, kind of helped us break the day up a little bit because, God, we were there a long time, especially on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it was a long standing.
Break it up a little bit. That was really good. But, yeah, he was extremely helpful, extremely kind. The whole staff there was great. They were right on top of clearing deadwoods. Like, I didn't see teams wait more than 30 to 45 seconds. The guy that was working the food truck,
he was awesome.
Outside on the high end, he was amazing. He was taking good care of us over the course of the weekend.
Free water. Everybody got free water.
Free water. Yep. They don't have bleachers in there, but they don't need them. They have plenty of seats and spectator areas with really comfortable chairs that we got to partake in when we were watching the men's final for the team portion. And so just overall, like you said, Mark, just a great event. Well run, great staff. They deserve the flowers we're giving them.
Great stuff, Mike. Outstanding year with the National High School Bowling Championships. All right, real quick, public service announcement from Mark, and you can tag along on this, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about it after we have Doug on the show. But I'm just going to say this, folks, parents, players, when you are at an event, and granted, I understand what the focus is. The focus is to perform at the highest level that you can. But if you are, for this as an example, a 2027, a 2028, or a 2029 graduate, you should make sure, one, you know what your GPA is.
Yeah.
Okay? And even if you're a sophomore or a freshman that's going to be a sophomore, you need to know what your GPA is. And if you've taken the ACT, you should know what your ACT score is. 2, you should know really, especially if you're a 2027, kind of what your intentions are. Right? What are your aspirations? What do you want to do? And really kind of have an idea of if you want to bowl in college, all right, what do you want to do? And thirdly, and probably most importantly, have the expectations that whenever you bowl an event like this, a college coach is going to be watching. They're going to be watching. You should expect this. And if you don't expect it, do you really want to bowl in college?
Right.
I asked that question.
And I think you're spot on always watching, because how many times are we browsing around the Facebook groups, right? And we see somebody live streaming. We don't even have to be in the building. We'll tune in. And so you're right. I mean, I don't have to expand on any of that. we had this similar conversations with students and parents all weekend. And you could tell who was prepared and who wasn't. And some, we talked about this last time we had a show. Some of the parents just need to be educated. And so I don't fault them on not knowing some information about collegiate bowling and maybe the pieces of information they need to have. But those are important pieces to be able to answer quickly. All Aspirations.
All right, last piece, and then we're going to bring Doug in. I see he's in the queue in the studio. Let me just say this. There is a term called de-recruited. You ever heard that one, Jonathan?
No.
It's a Markism. De-recruited. You know how you get de-recruited? Any idea?
I mean, I can think of numerous things.
Well, in the environment that we were in. All right, I'm going to tell you. I don't even want to. All right. Okay. Mark's term in de-recruiting is the action that you have in engagement with your parents and the engagement that the parents have with the recruit.
Yeah.
You can very easily de-recruit it because you know why? In this day and age, coaches don't want to deal with that.
Yep.
And maybe Doug will disagree. I mean, he's at one of the top programs in the nation, but that is my term of, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, I haven't heard the word de-recruited used. I've heard crossed off the list, perhaps.
De-recruited.
That's the one I tend to use, is cross off the list. But
Yeah.
you're right. Before, right when you asked that question, my first answer in the top of my mind was attitude, character, how that student athlete carries themselves. And those are the examples that lead to just that, right? What's unique about this tournament, to some sense, and then especially tournaments like Junior Gold or Teen Masters, is a lot of times students are put on pairs with people they don't know. And so how do they interact with those students as well?
Yeah.
That can show a big judge of character. Interactions with coaches and parents are interesting, especially if your coach is your parent. We see a lot of that in the high school ranks. And so, that's always something we're kind of watching. But yeah, it's very easy to get yourself de-recruited / crossed off the list if you don't show a high level of character in those moments.
De-recruited. All right, one quick story, and then we're going to go to Doug. I know he's chomping at the bit there. I will say this, okay? Out of all the recruits, all the student athletes that I really contacted with, of which we kind of had this non-committal but still committal activity of, all right, here, let's make sure that we follow up. Let's make sure we talk on down the road and everything. I have heard from every single student athlete except one. Now, how cool is that?
That's cool.
All right. Now, it's not that many, but the ones that we really, kind of hit it off, I've heard from every single one of those student athletes except for one. And the one, I was enormously dedicated and put forth resources and effort to specifically talk to this one student athlete. And they blew me off. And I got no problem being blown off. But if you're going to blow me off, at least show the respect and go, hey, you know what, coach? Just not my style, not my kind of situation. But, hey, thanks for taking interest in me.
Yeah. I mean, how many times on the show have we talked about that? The communication lines, right?
Yeah.
If it's a student who's being recruited and then they choose to attend another institution, if it's a student that is being recruited and they change their mind, and all you get is nothing, right? Or, students who are interested and you're asking questions and the river runs dry, right? And so communication is the key. We've talked about that on many shows, so we don't need to spend too much time on it. But, this weekend, we both had a handful of student athletes that we were really impressed with, and we took some time with them.
Yes.
With them and their parents, and talked about our programs and talked about what we believe in and how we could help them in a multitude of different ways, including help them connect with other institutions too, if they were so interested in
Purdue
programs elsewhere.
We had a situation where we had a student athlete. We're like, look, dude, you need to take a look at Purdue. Yep. So we were honest, right? And we were open, and we tell all the recruits. I know that we have those conversations with that, and it's unfortunate that happened. I still have to circle back to a few of mine and get a follow-up rate for you. I have heard from two of them at least already that they told us they made it home safely and really enjoyed talking with us this week. And I actually heard from one parent as well directly, which is really cool. And so we'll see how that develops. That's cool. Hey, rejection is part of this job. It's part of it. And we're going to get rejected. Is good. So we fail 90% of the time. And that's good. All right, let's move on. I'm sure we'll talk about that situation and the whole recruiting gig here in a little bit, but let's bring our special guest in now. Doug, you there? He's muted.
A second. There we go. I'm here.
There we go.
There he goes. Doug.
Hello.
Thank you. I don't know. Were you able to hear any of that?
Oh, I listened to the whole thing.
Agree or disagree with what I've said?
Which point? No, you talked about several things, and I can pretty much agree with just about everything you talked about, especially the recruiting. The event itself was fantastic. Of course, it's right in my backyard.
Yeah.
many of the bowlers that were there, I've already got on my recruit list and got their information. So it was just to show up and talk to them, and so they can see face to face what we look like instead of Facebook chatting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Talking to parents. I passed out a lot of information. I took probably 1,000 of our brochures. I'm down to maybe 100. So yeah, it was a good time.
Very nice. All right. We can talk a little bit more about that later, but
Sure.
the primary objective and reason for Doug being on the show today is we have a huge announcement, and Muskingum and Doug and his student athletes are going to be part of this historic event. So why don't I just dive into it, and then Jonathan, you can kind of tell people what the format is. I'll tell people what it is. Jonathan, you talk a little bit about the format. But on September 19th and 20th in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma at Holiday Lanes, we are going to have the first Crown Classic Invitational brought to you by Brunswick Bowling, and it is going to feature 4 schools, us, Dallas Baptist, Oklahoma Christian, and Muskingum, bowling in a 2-day bracket-style event in the CBA format. Jonathan.
Yeah, we've been working on this for how long now? A little bit of time.
2 years?
Yeah, probably about that. And it's going to be a really cool deal. Brunswick coming on board to be a part of it is obviously a big deal. But I think even more of a big deal is to have Doug and his program there as well, because, we've done some stuff in our region. We've had some matches, but this is the first time that somebody that's located in the Midwest is going to be represented. And, what we're hoping for is that gets discussed up there after the event. But Oklahoma City Holiday Lanes is where we'll be, like Mark said, where our conference championships were last year. So we've talked about the center. The brand new synthetics will be in by the time we kick this off. But forgive me for not remembering, Mark, but we changed the format since I remember.
Yeah, well, all we did, real quick, we did
qualifying, right?
We're going to have a round of seeding with 15 Baker games to determine 1 through 4.
Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
And then from there, we go right in that afternoon to bracket play based upon the seeding with singles, doubles, and Baker team action.
Yep. So for those that haven't heard us make the spiel about the specifics of those before, the singles is the 4 individual matchups, basically the 4 round robin match play with the highest score of each team being that 5th game showcase. Doubles is the same thing. You have 4 doubles pairings, 8 bowlers going head to head. Same thing. Top 2 doubles pairings will match together for a 5th game showcase. And then in the 3rd period, we have the 10 Baker games. But we have not used, at least since we played, because we did this calculation later on, but it's going to feature the points format instead of total pinfall. Total pinfall will still be calculated because that becomes the tiebreaker. Obviously, we're going to be keeping scores and things along that way for statistics purposes anyway. But the singles matchups are worth 4 points each. The doubles matchups are worth 4 points each. Both of those showcases are worth 8 points apiece. And then each of the 10 Baker games is worth 6 points each. And so the final score, if it's a competitive matchup, should be 90-something to 90-something generally. A lopsided win might be 100-something to 80-something. This will be the first time that we've used it in application, not going back and calculating the scores later. So we're curious to see how it works, but we think it's going to be competitive. We think it's going to be fun. I think the student athletes are going to thoroughly enjoy the event. Like a lot of ours have so far when we've tested them out.
All right. Nice job, Jonathan. Doug, obviously this format has never been done in this bracket style of play. When we talked about this format and what Jonathan and I were trying to accomplish, and then having some matches, DBU versus SNU and Oklahoma Christian versus SNU, why do you think, and why the interest in taking part in college bowling under the CBA format?
Well, number one, it's different, and different can bring excitement. Number 2, you got head-to-head matches. You got singles, one guy going against one guy, the best on the best. And let's see who the best is that day. And my guys are excited about it. Same way with doubles. Baker team games. The Baker games are fun because it's team. You got your teammates behind you, cheering you on, and et cetera. And we're looking forward to it. We think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then when we get home, we plan on running some of these ourselves as soon as you show us how it's done.
All right, that's awesome. That you know, the big tagline that Jonathan and I have coined is we just want to make college bowling better. And with any other college sport, it's always school versus school. And we've worked really hard to come up with a format that makes it exciting for the student athlete, the fan, the coaches, you know, and the industry itself involved in this very, very unique but competitive environment that is just like any other college sport.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot too. I mean, it's kind of nice to say, you know, my program versus your program. And there'll be times when this is also, I mean, I'm going to bring to Oklahoma City, we're just going to bring our varsity. We've got 8 guys, Coach Jones and myself. That's what we're going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I understand that we can bring more. And we're going to do that here in Ohio. And we may even just make it a JV match because, you know, JVs don't get a whole lot of bowling time.
Right.
This is another way to bring another school in who have same situation. Their JVs need to bowl, and we'll just make it a match and go head to head. And it also tests the depth of your program. And so we like that too. If that's the way there's 2 schools who will probably sit down and make the arrangements and go about it. And yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of possibilities with this because like you said, you get 8, 12, 20, and what the heck?
Yeah.
Bring them, and it's not very expensive. I mean, technically, I'm not looking to make money off of a match. And so it's just pay lineage, right? Let the bowling center have a bunch of money, buy some food. I'll even pay for the opposing team to come and feed them.
There you go.
That's cheaper than having a tournament. I mean,
Yeah.
good.
No doubt. And Holiday Lanes, they're actually, because this is a special event, a historic event, there is no entry fee for any of the teams that are involved in this. There's no lineage. There's no nothing. All right. And that's kind of a first too from a regular season event to have that situation. And then Brunswick is also involved. They've got some great merchandise, let's just call it what it is. The winning team, actually every single team that participates in this event on the men's side and on the women's side, and I'll talk about the women's side here in a minute, has the opportunity to win a pretty good number of bowling balls for their equipment for the entire season. So kudos for Brunswick to be able to do that and be a part of this. Now, on the women's side, real quick, Oklahoma Christian is an NCAA school, so their women cannot do it. Jonathan is still working on putting his squad together. And obviously, from a cost standpoint, Doug didn't want to bring his women's team also, with this being the first time this event has taken place. So what we have done for the women is Saturday is going to be a showcase event for the women where SNU has invited McPherson, and McPherson's going to come down here, and no entry fee, same format, CBA format, and they will be bowling for some Brunswick equipment also. So both the men and the women going to get some great competition on the weekend, and I am enormously excited that we're able to pull this event off. Now, Doug, I want to ask you this. Once other coaches, and I know that you engage with a lot of other coaches in the area and kind of in your region, once the coaches and the players truly see what this format is about, do you feel that it will catch on?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Because it's going to be exciting. And here's the big thing. I know for this particular event, you don't have any lineage. The bowling center is not charging anything.
Right.
But still, I can go into a bowling center and pay some cheap lineage. And to be quite truthful, feed the opposing team some pizza. And hey, I'm not going to pay for your transportation, but if you can get here, or if I get to you and you reciprocate, we're going. as much as we can, because as you know, I'm the coordinator, and well, I have a board now, but we have the Ohio Bowling Conference that I founded 7 years ago.
Yeah.
There's 22 schools right there, by golly, and they're all going to get an invitation. So we'll see who wants to do it.
All right, that's awesome. Now, this is kind of off the cuff, but let's do this. Kind of give the people a preview of what your squad might look like. Obviously, you know, how you're going to determine who those 8 players are, but just kind of give an overview of what you feel that you're going to be bringing to Oklahoma City for this event, Doug.
Yeah, well, right now, we will have our team trials a week before school starts. So we will have, quote unquote, a varsity team picked, 2 JVs and a developmental team after that week. And then you got 2 weeks basically of practice following that. So we're going to bring our top 8 men and the Coach Jones and myself to that competition. After that, basically a month of practice, see what we've got. And I can tell you right now that the seniors are returning. They're excited. They want to do this because I gave them options. Do you want to go to Chicago or do you want to go to Oklahoma City and do this event? And they all said Oklahoma City. Nothing against Chicago, but that's in January and it's 30 below or whatever. Yeah. And they said, let's go to Oklahoma City in September. But they're excited about it. They love the opportunity.
All right, fantastic. Now, obviously, you have no idea what the squad's going to be, but is your program kind of highlighted by 2-handers, left-handers, kind of a mix of everything? I mean, let the people know what you got.
Yeah, well, no, we've got 2-handers, 1-handers, couple of lefties. So we're going to see who makes the top 8. Got an idea, of course, on paper. This is what it looks like, but they got to prove it when they get there. Yeah. But, yeah, we've got a mix. We have several 2-handers. And we banned urethane, so you don't have to worry about that.
We did too.
We're not going to use it.
We don't use it either.
So because they got to learn how to bowl. I mean, that's all there is to it. We've watched a lot of bowlers use urethane at junior gold and in high school, and you get into college and give them a reactive ball or pearl or whatever, and they have no idea what to do with it.
Well said, Doug. Well said. Well said. All right, Jonathan, give us a preview, man.
What's really cool about our squad, our men's squad this year, is pretty much all of them are coming back from what we had last year. We only had 1 graduating senior, and so we get to roll back. I mean, that's the nice thing about being a younger team. Mark, you're in a similar boat. We have so much returning year over year that it feels like we can just keep taking steps forward and keep building. I think this will be the most competitive squad we've ever had in our team's history. We got a mix too. We got some lefties, all 2-handed lefties. I need to still find a 1-handed lefty out there somewhere, but I got some 2-handed lefties, some 2-handed righties, some high rev 1-handed righties on our men's team. And we have 23 on the roster right now. We will pick which 8 to 10 we want to bring with us to Oklahoma City. I might bring a couple extra players with me and kind of change up what we do between doubles and Baker for lineups potentially. That's another thing I love about the format, the ability to use many different players if we need to. I know, Mark, when you bowled us here in Dallas, I had 9. I had that extra bowler there, and I was able to get him in after 2 games of doubles. And so just to give those students more opportunity. It's also, before our regular season starts. So it's a great tester for us to see, especially with some of the freshmen we have coming in, if they make that initial roster, how do they handle, the tournament lights? Are they ready for this? And, we'll get some good feedback, some good stats to take back with us and keep going. But we're going to have a pretty good competitive squad, a bunch of familiar faces that you've seen over the last year. And so, those guys, they like to have a really good time and they're really competitive and they'll let you hear about it. So expect that that is on its way to Oklahoma.
I am somewhat shocked that Coach Hayes is not on the instant feedback, the comments. Did you have it set up right, Jonathan, this time?
Comment should be open. Yes. But
all right. Maybe I know he's been super busy. He just got
back from a cruise.
Yeah, he was out in the ocean somewhere. I don't know where he went. Guadalajara or something. I don't know. Went somewhere. But I know Coach Hayes' squad is going to be really, really good. They do have quite a few returners, and some of those freshmen that he had last year have really, really improved. I've seen videos of some of them working at home, working on their game. Their game's dramatically getting better, and I know the senior. I think he's going to have 2 seniors, if I'm not right. Both of those kids are going to be what I refer to as impact players. Yeah. So a very, very good Oklahoma Christian squad coming into this event, and it should be really good. The matches should be incredible because you know why? Anything can happen in match play. Anything can happen in match play.
Yep.
And what a great way to kick off the season and really establish that kind of essence of competition, because I think all 3 of us can agree, if you do make it past sectionals and you do make it to nationals, then it becomes all about that match play environment. Even though it's totally Baker, still that experience that you get from match play is massively beneficial, in my opinion. Do you 2 agree? Doug, you go first.
Okay, go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, match play. I mean, there's debate even in the Ohio Bowling Conference. Do we need the individual games? Do we need the 5-team games, or should we all be Baker? I mean, obviously you're going head to head against another team, and it's total pins for USBC. But we talk about it all the time, and that's why one of the reasons why our very last OBC match is all Baker, because we're coming up on postseason. And just to give our players in our conference that feeling of 32 Baker games, like one day, a half a day, or whatever you want to call it at the sectionals.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it. And the match play is big, and it's exciting for the players. I mean, it's your school versus my school, you know, and that doesn't happen anywhere. I mean, it does at our tournaments, obviously, but it's one-on-one.
Right.
You know, you're either first or the first loser.
Yep.
Jonathan?
I feel like that match play mindset is something that has to be trained on throughout the year. And, you know, I'll tell you, Mark, I think one of the reasons your team found some success at nationals was from those matches, was from that environment and being able to put themselves, you know, under pressure in those moments and working together in that sense to accomplish the common goal is to beat those guys standing on the other side of the ball return. Right. And so I think that it helps set that up nicely. But what I've got from my players, and Mark, we talked about this on the show, you know, earlier in the year, the biggest piece of feedback I got were, hey, we're athletes. We want to scratch that athletic mindset. We want to have that kind of competition, and we had it here. Because from the start to the finish, you always have a chance, right? I mean, when we went back and we applied this point system to our previous 2 matches and then our match against Drury, until the last 2 Baker games, the match could have gone either way still. And so not saying that you can't achieve the same thing or have the same thing in our traditional events, but, you know, it's kind of harder to see that light at the end of the tunnel and keep chasing when you're in the middle of a 60-team pack, you know. And so it's refreshing to have that level of competition. The guys really enjoy it because they can scratch that athletic mindset that they have and be aggressive, but they always know they have a chance as well, and that's exciting for them.
All right, great stuff.
I like about the point system. You can get beat 260 to 160. That team only got 2 points, or however many points.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can say, hey, we got 4 more games left, and we can do the same thing. We're not out of it. Total pins, you get beat 260, 160. You might be out of it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so point system is going to make it very interesting as well.
Yeah. Hey, an interesting fact, Doug, that point system concept and idea actually came from a player.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have smart players over here at DVU. What can I say?
All right. That's gonna be the big announcement, man. The Crown Classic Invitational, September 19th and 20th. 5 schools involved, one over on the women's side along with SNU, and then Oklahoma Christian, Dallas Baptist, Muskingum, and SNU. Going to do battle 2 days, and man, can't wait. And I know the college bowling world will be watching to see how this goes. It will be live streamed. We will have both matches that take place in the seeding round will be live streamed on SNU Bowling. Actually, we're going to try and put it on the CBAA.com website. That way the website and the format and everything gets a little bit more exposure on that side. And then the world will see how we believe we can make college bowling better. So, Doug, I got 2 questions before we let you go.
Yes, sir.
First one is this. Why are high school players so good in the state of Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois? Why is that?
Well, you know, Ohio's had high school bowling now since the year 2000. So we've got a little bit of an edge on a lot of the states, and Michigan's very good as well.
Yeah.
Supposedly in the country, Ohio, Michigan, and Texas have the largest number of high school bowlers in the country. But Indiana, Illinois, I mean, I'm from Ohio, so Indiana's always trying to catch us. I mean, that's always and Illinois is way out there. But no, yeah, I just the state legislators, you know, they have given the thumbs up to it. The Ohio High School Athletic Association, that was big. Kudos to Greg Coulis here in Ohio and others. I happen to be on the board, the Coaching Association board, and we push it. And to be quite truthful, we're now looking at 3 divisions in Ohio instead of 2. So yeah, a lot of interest. And you know what got me interested in coaching bowling? It's kind of a funny story, but I'm sitting in Toledo in a snowstorm. We can't go anywhere. The only athletic event is Ohio High School Bowling State Championships. And I make the joke, I'm going to start that at Zanesville High School. And lo and behold, the good Lord was not a joke. He meant it when he put that on my heart. And the opportunity came, and I coached Zanesville High School for 8 years before going on to Muskingum now for 15. So, yeah, Ohio High School Athletic Association, they took off with it, and it's been going strong now for 26 years.
All right. My second question, and then I'll send it to Jonathan, see if he has anything else for you. But when you take a school like Harlem in Illinois, they continue to pump out just great players year after year. Why is that?
You know, that's a good question. I know we've got one city here in a small town in Ohio, Coldwater. Now, I just told you guys the secret in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Well,
they have a bowling center, and nothing against Coldwater, but maybe nothing else in town. So the young men and women bowl, and they are good. And you're looking at the Ohio State Championship every year. They're right there.
Okay.
And, you know, another thing is when the school has athletic functions like a banquet, they have it at the bowling center because they cater for the high school teams that want their banquet there. So it is the place to be in Coldwater. Now, I'm not familiar with Harlem.
Okay.
In the city itself. Of course, I know about them.
Yeah.
One of the things about students from wherever they are, Muskingum is too far to go. Cool.
Yeah, talk about Texas and Oklahoma. Come on, Doug.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, heck, I've got people in Ohio where 3 hours, the mother says, no, can't go, too far away from home. So
wow.
That's another thing. I just don't see too much from Harlem, even though we have bowlers from Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Washington State. 3 hours from home in Ohio is too far.
I get it.
So that's part of the reason why we don't get some of the bowlers from the different states. But I mean, we're working on it. Plus, there's so much collegiate bowling in those states. They don't have to come
Yeah.
to Ohio.
Yep.
So
Great point. Great point. All right. Anything for Doug, Jonathan?
I got one question, and we're going to take it back to what me and Mark were talking about right before you came on. But when you're walking around the high school nationals and you're doing your recruiting, what are you looking for? And what do the athletes need to know so when you start asking questions, they could answer them?
yeah, I heard you say they need to know the grade point average. So, yeah,
I
mean,
was
I get
blown
that.
away by
I
that
ask
one.
all the time, and sometimes if the parent's there, the parent knows, the athlete doesn't necessarily know. But when I'm looking, just watching, I'm not talking to anybody, I'm just watching. Of course, you're looking at their physical skills and all that sort of stuff. But interaction, like you said, with the other players, that it might be the team event. So how do they interact with their team? But then the other team beside them, how do they interact? I don't expect them to be cheering on the other team, but every once in a while you see them give a high five to the other person for a good shot or whatever. Because, when they come to college, they're not with their quote unquote teammates anymore. It's different people they've never seen before. You got to be able to get along and have good communication skills and be likable. And then I do watch the interaction between they and their coach. I have one story where you had mentioned a parent being the coach, and this young man we were recruiting years ago, his father was the coach, and he went back to his father, and the father said something. The young man cussed him out, and I was standing right there, and I said, "It was nice to know you, but we're no longer interested." Yeah, I mean, interaction, how they get along with others, that's huge because you're coming to Muskingum. And like I said, we've got bowlers from all over the country. You don't know them, and how you're going to get along and how you're going to adapt to that environment. That's important.
Yeah.
First thing I ask, though, I want to know GPA because you got to be able to graduate college. That's it. I mean, I really don't want them if they can't graduate, right? So GPA, that when I get a recruit form in the mail, the first thing I look at is GPA.
Yep.
And if they have an ACT score, fine, but most schools aren't even worried about that anymore. So I do look at it, but that GPA, I want to look at that right away and go from there.
Yep.
There's actual situations where the student athlete's GPA is below 2.0. And I just kind of look at them and go, well, how did you graduate? Well, it was a point system or it was a hour system. Or it's like, what are we doing? Kids are graduating with less than 2.0 GPAs. Holy cow. What is going on? I was in shock.
You got to have a 2-point to graduate to move on in college to bowl. You got to have a 2-point.
Well, for me, you got to have a 3.0.
Yeah. That's great.
And I was blown away when the student athlete and the parent told me that about the GPA. They're like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. What?
Me and Mark are both standing there.
Yes.
You got two college coaches standing right in front of you. Oh, yeah, doesn't matter. We're here to bowl. Okay, well, enjoy it. That's going to be it.
Where's that? Oh, okay. That would be the D-recruit.
No, the cross off the list.
Oh, by the way, D-recruit is a word.
Is it really?
It really is.
Yeah. Does it mean what I think it means?
It does. It just means you cross them off the list.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, right, Mark. If you're going to decommit, I'm going to de-recruit, okay?
There you go. There you go.
All right. Now, I'm going to throw this comment up, and it's good to hear from the Fed. Question, why do some states do high school bowling through their state's athletic association as a sport and others through a proprietors association, such as a club sport, yet both will say they both do it right?
That's a good question. I got
this. Great question.
Ohio started out through the proprietors association, and then the state got on board. Now, to be quite truthful, the state looks at money making.
Yeah,
and they're making some bucks off of high school bowling at tournament time, And so they don't mind it as long as that money's rolling in. That's what it comes right down to. So, yeah, the Proprietors Association in the state of Ohio started it. They're the ones that approached Greg Coolis to begin with to say, please get it started. You be our speaker on behalf of us and to the Ohio High School Athletic Association. And it worked.
I know in Oklahoma, they have taken or have tried in previous years to take it to the OSSAA, which is the governing body for high school sports. And they said, no, we don't want any part of it. So I don't know what they do in Texas, Jonathan.
I mean, it's similar. I mean, when Doug's talking about the money, you know what makes the money in Texas? Football, basketball, baseball, right? So those are going to be the top of mind sports. They're going to get the resources and attention. And so there's a lot of your smaller rostered sports in the state that don't have a high level of support, which is unfortunate. But I will give a shout out to proprietors who do try to fill the gap, because there are a lot of them out there that step in and make the difference and provide access to resources and support for these youth bowlers. Even if the school/state won't give it to them, they're going to find a way. And so I think that's a large part of why, Doug touched on it earlier, Texas is one of the largest states of high school bowling. And it's not because the school districts and state is doing anything for it. We just have some amazing bowling proprietors here in the state who are willing to step up and take care of these student athletes. I've had this argument on here a couple times, and I think we might need to dedicate a show to it in the future, Mark. But diving into the weeds of why and what that looks like, and the state of high school bowling nationwide, and just the state of bowling educational programs around the nation as well. How young are these youth bowlers that we're trying to get into bowling? How are we getting to the bowling center? What are we offering to them? How are we integrating bowling into PE programs and elementary and middle schools? All that good stuff. We go down a rabbit hole on that. I have a lot of passion in that. I think we talked about that a little bit on the last show. But similar to what you have, Mark, it's just one of those things where it kind of takes the bowling proprietors village, and we're just lucky enough to have some that are willing to step up.
Well, we have 50 states, obviously, in the union. 19 of them have high school bowling through their associations, but 28 states to have high school bowling. And so that means 9 of the other states basically through the proprietors, through club. So we got 28 states with bowling, and we got 22 more to go that don't have it. And, if you talk to an athletic director that doesn't know a whole lot about high school bowling or bowling in general, they'll automatically say, no, they don't want it because there's no money. There's really no money coming in. Okay. So when I started our program at Zanesville High School, I just asked for permission to drive to our tournaments and to practice. Don't want busing, don't want a dime from you. I'll raise all the money. Just let us do it. And the board said yes. Well, after about 5 years of doing that, we were so successful, the superintendent said, hey, you're now a varsity sport. You've got busing, and we're going to give you a small budget.
Wow.
Okay, so that's what happened at that high school, and which is very similar to some other high schools in our area. When I first started and I was talking about high schools and trying to start programs, the same thing happened. All of a sudden, hey, you guys are successful. So here's your budget and here's your busing. And it took off.
Wow.
Yeah. But initially, I didn't even want money. And the parents put their own gas in the car, and we paid for everything. And I had to raise $8,000 to $10,000 a year to do what we wanted to do.
Yeah. You know, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the state of California with a lot of stuff over a lot of categories and areas and everything. But I think from a population standpoint, and me having been a former youth player in Southern California, I know how it was then and how it is now. I was shocked not to see any high school from the state of California at the high school champion. I mean, there was somebody from Alaska there. And California, with all the people there now, granted, the turnover in bowling centers, there have been some iconic bowling centers in Southern California that have gone away. Fountain Bowl, Regal Bowl. I mean, huge youth venues that really supported youth bowling because the land has become more valuable than the center itself. They're like, okay, hey, you're going to write me a check for, $80 million. Yeah. All right. I'm on that. Boom. But then nobody from California.
I thought that was kind of surprising as well.
Shocked.
Yeah. I mean, it is expensive. You can imagine how much Alaska had to pay to come from Alaska with their group. And I know the number, but I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's a large amount. So that's the same probably for California, close to it.
Here's a comment that I'm going to have a follow-up statement on this. Can't tell you how many times that kids, they're not aware that they even have high school bowling or even have a bowling team. And I believe that because you've been through it, Doug. You tell me if I'm wrong. You have to get that engagement and buy-in from the athletic director. If you really want to promote it and showcase the, I've talked on this show about the chasers in AAU basketball and club volleyball and all this. You have families, parents, players chasing scholarship money, spending thousands of dollars at these showcase events all across the country, hoping that they earn some type of scholarship to play basketball or volleyball or baseball or whatever. They have no idea that right now, if you were like an 8th grader and you started bowling and you were a girl that had really good kind of physical ability and athletic ability, that if you went on and really learned how to bowl and became a great bowler, you could get a lot of money for your college education. Am I wrong, Doug?
No, you're not wrong at all. There's plenty of opportunities out there. I talk to parents. Does your school accept smart money? Well, of course they do. It's no big deal. And you can earn a lot of smart money, especially if you're a high level bowler. And some might be a pretty good bowler. They don't have a lot of money, but hey, that might be a semester of books or 2 semesters of books that you've saved up for, wherever the case might be. And there's lots of opportunities in Ohio. If you can travel, we have a junior bowling tour, but then you can go to Michigan for their junior bowling tour. You can hit Kentucky, Indiana, all over the place. First of all, you got to spend that money to earn the money. So there's a lot to the fact too that parents could take that $400 to $1,000 they use traveling to get to these tournaments and just put it in a fund for college. But then also you're not getting your student that visibility for us to look at them in that particular way, except to go to high school bowling matches. And you've already talked about even in Texas, how many high schools have bowling in Dallas where you are?
There's a lot.
A lot?
There's a good number. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm coming down.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot. Hey, you have no reason to come to Oklahoma then because there's not that many in Oklahoma.
Right.
Very few.
I always tell people the Texas High School Bowling Championship Tournament, the state tournament, is amazing. Like the level of teams that are there, the talent is really good because certain pockets of the state, they have youth coordinators that do an incredible job educating parents, educating students, providing them resources. Kind of goes back to what we're talking about with the proprietors. They do a great job positioning the students for that because they know that college coaches are going to be scouting that event every single year. So they put emphasis and time towards it. But I think the whole discussion goes back to a little bit what we talked about last show, Mark, is part of what we have to spend time on, unfortunately, is educating parents, educating families on the opportunity that exists out there, and hopefully getting them educated early enough where their son or daughter has a lot of time to develop and into the player that is going to be a great college player. But me and Mark had a situation this weekend. We were talking to a parent who's watching their daughter bowl, and she's an incredible bowler. And we start talking about the opportunities that exist within college bowling. And she's like, well, first I've heard of any of that, And so, we have to take pride in educating people about what's at the next level, because in certain pockets of the country they might not have that.
Agree. Great stuff. All right, Doug, man. Can't thank you enough for taking time out to be a part of this show, and looking forward to seeing you in September. You're going to be in Minneapolis, right?
Yes, we are.
All right. So we'll see you there. And then are you going to Jeff Wirt's event?
I am not.
Okay.
We need to get up there. We used to go, quite frankly, regularly to Jeff's event up in Minnesota, but it also happens to be another event that Coach Jones is going to, and then the family comes up from Amarillo, and I'm going to see my grandchildren.
Very nice.
So yeah, not going to Jeff's event.
All right. Cool stuff, man. Very, very excited about the Crown Classic Invitational. Looking forward to it, and we'll see you in Minneapolis, man.
Definitely. We'll see you there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
see you,
Doug.
Yep, we'll see you.
All right. Good stuff there, man. He's been doing it a long time. Very, very knowledgeable, especially that crossover between the high school and the college bowling. And you're dead on, man. I mean, education, communication, really understanding, especially the girls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to say this right now. The girls have to do, I would say, more research and have to make more decisions on really what they aspire to do if they're wanting to bowl in college, because quite honestly, I think there's more opportunities for the women than there are the men.
I agree. I mean, there's definitely deeper scholarship opportunities out there. There might be slightly less women's programs, available, but that doesn't mean that there's not spots available.
Yeah.
I think there's a higher demand for female student athletes in the collegiate space than there are that want to fill them. And that's part of the problem that we're having. And so, educating these families that, well, there's some real money out there for you. There's opportunity out there to get a great education at a great institution, but these are the steps to take. This is how you do it. These are the events you should go to. Because if you live let's say in a small town in southern Colorado, right, and you have a little bowling center in your town, and that's kind of what you do year round, but you go and all you do is bowl junior gold for the big tournaments.
Yeah,
you're not getting that kind of information there, right? I get they run the trade show, and you could slightly take advantage of that, but it's the other events like what we had in Columbus, what's going to happen in Detroit at the end of next month. Like, those are the events that when you really get some time to talk to these coaches, they can explain, what the opportunities are, what the steps you need to take. And we spend a lot of time educating.
It's all good stuff though, man. I could not be happier with the trip that we made to Columbus this past Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We made it back on Monday, and now we move forward with the recruit and the contact and the info that we have, hopefully progressing toward campus tours, visits, more conversation. And, that's how the groundwork that is done when you're a sophomore, a junior, and then to be a senior that summer. You should be well into the recruiting cycle if you really want to take advantage and look at what the opportunities that are available out there for you. And that was the biggest thing, kind of the highlight or the stress point was a lot of kids that we spoke with, they really just were not educated. They kind of knew, they kind of had that, well, I'm kind of thinking about, if you're a junior going into your senior year, you should already be dialed in. You should already have your list done and ready for those final campus visits and go from there. But tremendous trip, man. It was cool.
I encourage anybody who has questions or really found what we're talking about with the recruiting intriguing to go watch the last episode, because we really break down some recruiting details and some good check marks to have and kind of how to progress along that. So episode 13 I think it was.
Yes.
Go back and watch that one.
All right, I'm going to shift gears. You see it? Where's that? Right there. You see
Yeah.
the bowling ball?
I do.
What's it say on it, Jonathan?
That would be a OU Boomer Sooner, baby.
That's right. And my alma mater got it done. And really one of the most sensational stories in sports that will go kind of under the radar. Because truly, how many college baseball fans are there?
Well, there's a lot, but not as many as there should be.
There were people probably mad that the College World Series was on instead of whatever Major League Baseball game was on. I don't care about this.
I think it kind of depends on where you are in the country, because certain regional pockets, I mean, they eat up their baseball at all levels.
Yeah,
and some do not.
It was cool, man. It was really, really cool.
The coolest story, and obviously, being at DBU, baseball institution, as
big time
known,
baseball school,
right? So we're pretty connected to what's going on in big time college baseball. And the cool things that I don't think people realize, I mean, people understood that Oklahoma was not ranked. They finished 11th in the SEC, right? I think those are
500.
pretty like obvious things there. But the amount of freshmen on that squad that had an impact in the SEC tournament and the regional and the super regional and then eventually the College World Series, I think that's what makes the storyline really special.
It does.
Because you don't see that as much anymore, right? In today's day and age of the transfer portal and all that stuff, you see guys come in as a 1-year rental, maybe 2-year guy, and those guys fill up the lineup because these programs, that's where they're spending the money. They're spending the money on those guys. But man, to see those freshmen, especially the freshman pitchers, step up and do what they did was amazing. Really cool to watch. And North Carolina is one of the best teams in the country year after year.
Yeah.
It's a really solid squad. They had some impact freshmen as well in their season. So I think that's a cool thing that both teams kind of had that. But you have to get hot at the end. You have to be playing at your best when your best is required, and that's exactly what the Sooners did.
The home run totals, the last, 16 games or whatever it was just insanely high compared to what they did the first 48 games or whatever it was. I don't know what it was. But the other thing was you have to listen. And listen, we understand this show does not have a great reach, obviously. But I'm telling you, if you do watch the replay or you listen to this or you're watching right now, if you are a coach, and even if you're a student athlete, and even if you're not a college basketball or college baseball fan, you need to listen to Skip Johnson's post-game press conference.
Yep.
Amazing.
100%. Yeah.
Amazing.
Skip is one of the best, man. He really is.
I know I am cutting up bits and pieces of that press conference, and I'm actually going to show it to my players. The ability to pull together as a team, and some of the things that Skip said about this team the last month and a half, 2 months that took place when they hit a roadblock. Every single coach and every single student athlete in whatever sport can benefit if you listen to what Skip Johnson's message truly is during that press conference.
It was one of those all-time press conferences, I think. It's going to live in infamy. It's going to be something that people continue to go back to. I think it speaks a lot of the character of Skip Johnson. He's one of the most stand-up guys that stand in a college baseball program's dugout. So it was cool to see him get his first as a head coach. I mean, I know he had a few as an assistant at Texas, but to see him finally get one as the head coach was pretty cool.
I hear he's a bowler.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I hear he actually has 300 games. We got to find out on this, man.
We need to get him on the show. Can we get that to happen?
I mean, I know people, but I don't know. He's BMOC now, man. He's big man on campus.
Yeah.
So,
well, once football season starts, you might be able to get to him because, the state of Oklahoma shifts drastically when football season's.
I mean, I'll get him a case of Brunswick balls and get him on the show or whatever. I'll even drill him out for him over here in the pro shop studio.
We might have to make that happen.
We'll see what we can do. All right. You know what the number is up to of plug balls over in the other room?
12.
18.
Oh, you've been busy.
18. Now, I've got an idea as a result of all this plugging madness and kind of obsession that I've been on. And I'm getting really good at it. There are certain things that I've had to tweak and adjust, but I'm getting really good at it. And
I've changed your life on plug work.
You did. You and Hobby Lobby, okay? You and Hobby Lobby. And I came up with an idea. Now, when I was, let's see, I got to think back. When I was a junior in high school, Coach Erickson, right, was my basketball coach. And he had, and I don't know where he got them, but he had these little, and I'm going to use a poker chip as an example right now. All right. He had these little plastic, items or circle things. And on one side, it said, be a team. And on the other side, it said, choices. All right. Now, we had to carry that around with us 24/7, basically. And if he ever, he'd go, all right. He goes, he called them coins, but they weren't coins. Where's your coin? I mean, everybody would have their coin. And players would freak out if they couldn't find their coin. But it constantly reminded you of what this team was about. So I had an idea. Now, this new plug, it sets up incredibly. It takes time, though. It takes 24 hours.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is somehow, some way, I am going to find a circle kind of ring-looking thing that is about this size here that has nothing in the middle. It's just like a little plastic ring. And if you have any ideas on what those little plastic rings might be, let me know. And I'm gonna take the plastic ring. I'm gonna make a pour about halfway up the plastic ring. Then I still have 2 ticket stubs from the national championship. And I'm gonna cut up the ticket stubs in little pieces, and then I'm gonna put them in that plug circle and then seal them. And then I'm going to give them to the players. And our theme this year is unfinished business. And I want them to have that piece of what we could have had in their pocket to remind them all the time that we are on a mission to complete our unfinished business. What do you think about that?
I like that. See, all it took to start this whole thing was we started talking about plug work, and I gave you some tips. I mean, I wish people could see, but the text thread of the next week between me and Mark is him sending me pictures of this outstanding plug work.
Oh,
and I'm glad that we've found another use for that as well. I like that idea.
You like that idea?
I might do something similar. I'm not, obviously, I don't have a Nationals ticket stub. Well, hey, we will next year. How about that number?
I like that.
But I might do something along those lines.
Hey, that goes back to Coach Erickson. He was a mentor for me.
Choices.
One of the best coaches that I've ever been around, both in college and high school and outside of school ball. Just an amazing coach that cared about his players. He cared about winning. And he's the one that taught me about accountability.
Choices.
Choices.
How often do we talk about choices, Mark?
A lot.
I think between the two of us, we probably brought it up to each other about 20 times over the course of this last weekend. Like whenever we saw a player do something, we're like, well, that was a choice.
Yeah.
They had a choice to do something else and they didn't, right? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. All right. One more final thing about this weekend, and you can give me your thoughts on this. I think one of the coolest things about the event forget about all of the atmosphere and all that. He was dead on the lane pattern that he threw out for the tournament.
Yeah.
It was scoreable, but you had to make shots.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't that what you want? There were some guys and girls that knocked it out of the park. And then there were some guys that were kind of middle, a carry here, carry there. And then there were some guys that just were totally lost and really didn't know how to interpret and really read and react and where to start and all that and everything. But he dialed it in. And people will look at the lane pattern and they'll go, oh, well, it was 6-1 and 30 mils and 42 feet. Oh, it was walled up. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Because a lot of it has to do with the characteristics of the center.
Old
right?
panel.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
What kind of conditioner they're using. Like, there's so many things at play. This one thing drives me crazy. You can't just look at oil pattern and go, this is going to play like this.
Yeah.
You have no idea. And the other reality is in high school, you're not going to have as much accuracy out there. So it's not going to develop like the pros are going to bowl on it. So, you do have to make shots. The breakdown is going to get kind of ugly in certain spots. Can you navigate that? Can you make the right ball selection? And one thing that stood out to me, especially as we were getting a few a list of guys that we wanted to go back and watch bowl some more and talk to them, we'd watch them, maybe a few frames in a row. You could start to see their thought process. And some of them were really quick to figure it out. The ones that we saw play more direct really had an advantage over those that were trying to open it way up, especially early. Ball selection was an interesting one. There was no stipulations on equipment outside of you couldn't use the old purple hammers. You could use the green pins or what have you.
Yeah.
So we did see some, especially on the left side, we saw some urethanes, not as much on the right, obviously, on a shot like that. But the guys that played straighter and the ones that figured out when to go to the right equipment had an inherent advantage. And that's what you want from a pattern, right? You want it to be playable, you want it to be scoreable. But if the players that can think and make the thought process and go through it the right way have an advantage, that's all you want.
Yeah. And that's why you and I both, we spent a ton of time in practice throughout the week, through the entire season, on building your confidence in learning how to read and react, learning where to start, learning your arsenal, learning surface. That was one thing that a lot of the players that we spoke with, they just did not have a really good understanding of how important surface was.
Yep.
We got the comment, oh, well, I hit it with 1,000. Well, why'd you do that? It was the only pad I had. I thought that would work. They don't know yet.
Yeah.
They really don't.
That's okay.
Know.
They'll figure it out.
It's good, but just a fantastic weekend. I have a pretty good hunch it's going to be back there next year.
You should. Great center, great people.
Yeah. So we will hopefully, if that's the case, we will definitely plan another trip to Columbus, Ohio. Hey, the one thing about the lane pattern, somebody told me, hey, think of that as a fishing report because of me and my fishing.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, you call your buddies that you trust, and you got the fishing report, they're biting on whatever in this area of the lake and everything. What are you going to do? Well, if you trust the person, that's where you're going to go, and that's what you're going to throw. I said, well, there's a little bit more to it than that, but the general concept of being a fishing report, yeah, I guess you could throw it in that classification, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a bad comp.
Yeah, fishing report. Because you know what ends up happening most of the time? A lot of people go fishing, man. They're just out there on a fishing expedition.
Yeah.
Ooh, will this work? No. Okay, let me try this. All right. Well, no, let me try this. Let me try that. All right. Last thing bowling wise, I want to talk about and I know we just got back, but I did take the time to watch the final match of the PBA stop this past weekend. Did you watch it at all?
Yeah, I watched the highlights. the highlight video somebody created. It was just a bunch. It was condensed down to 12 minutes.
A crazy finish.
Yeah.
And you see what he was using?
He had a 15-pound and a 14-pound. He was using different balls in different lanes.
Yeah, but did you see what Marshall Kent was using?
Mm-mm.
Take one guess. It was green and black.
An axe?
Hi, yeah.
Hey. And until things change and we could get into this. Maybe we table this. Let's table this for the next show. But
yeah.
We could get into that. That's not going to change until the patterns and the professional circuit change.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, whatever it was, 2.5, 3 years ago, something like that, when I showed up at a SASBA and I had 3 different axes punched out, I had a pink one, a blue one, and then the gray one.
Yeah.
Like, my friends were laughing at me, going, what are you doing? What is that? And I remember 2 years ago at the firecracker, of which is getting ready to come up, I was using the gray axe, and I overheard somebody as I walked by. It was like, what's Jeffrey's using? I don't know, urethane or something. They didn't even know what it was. And now, how many times during the season have we seen the axe on the television show? There's a reason.
We saw it in college. We saw it on the pro tour. We're going to continue to see it. That's kind of the best case scenario.
It is an amazing piece of equipment, specific, though, for a certain condition of which, if you match up, which is what we teach a lot, that ball is amazing.
Yep. Agreed.
You also have to have Morella drilled on it, too.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
The other thing is, this is a great comment right here. Here, let me throw this one out there. Most people think it's plastic. Yeah, you're right. It's not. It's reactive resin.
Probably because of its price point. People probably think it's a plastic ball. But
I'm telling you, man, for people out there that have really wet, dry conditions where the friction is definitely defined outside, you need to try an axe.
Yeah.
You need to try an axe. And for those old school guys out there like me, lay it out and drill it as if it was a old 1970s white dye or yellow dye. All right, with side weight and top weight. Now you got 3 ounces max. Dude, I don't think you can put that much side weight. 3 ounces? That'd be hard to do on that ball.
It would be hard to do on that ball. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a shot put, weight block.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing to it.
There's my 2 cents if you want to take it, but I think it's cool. I know some people have said that it's bad for the industry. The guys should be using the high dollar balls because then the league players are more conducive to ordering those high dollar balls because the pros are using it.
Okay. Real quick. Do we really think, and this will set up the next show.
Okay. Do
we really think that what the guys are throwing on tour in 2026 has a direct correlation with the bowling balls being sold to the average league bowler? Or do you think it's more affected by the YouTubers who do the ball reviews of these bowling balls?
That is a great topic. We will get into that next show. I'll give you the quick answer and then we'll completely elaborate on it. All right. It is no way any comparison to what it was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
100%.
Today.
Yeah.
All right. It was massive back then. I think there has been a downward trend, though, in the number of people that are utilizing their purchasing power based upon ball reviews. I think that lifespan is starting to decrease. Why?
Sure.
Because I think the consumer has gotten smarter and said, the dude's striking all the time. What? Do you think he's not going to throw a video out there of him going 4 count through the beak? No.
Hey, some do. Some guys are honest. Not a lot of them, though.
But the vast majority. They have skin in the game. I really believe that the true driving force has changed. All right. Obviously, I think it's decreased on the television show, but I still think that's a factor. You know what I think the driving force is? The local guy that shoots 300.
Mm-hmm.
The local guy that shoots 780 or whatever.
What are you gonna do to prevent them from throwing a hammer axe? So here we go. All right,
So,
that's
great topic.
We'll get into it.
That is a fantastic topic there. So just in case you missed it, big announcement was on September 19th and 20th, 2026. For the first time in collegiate bowling history, we are having the Crown Classic Invitational brought to you by Brunswick. It's going to take place at Holiday Lanes in Oklahoma City. The 5 schools participating. On the men's side, it's going to be Dallas Baptist, Muskingum, Oklahoma Christian, and SNU. Then on the women's side, it's going to be SNU and McPherson College in the CBA 3-period point format. And I'm glad they're coming, man. That's cool that we got a team from Ohio.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, my closing thought on the show was just how cool is it to have somebody like Doug, who's been around the game a long time, runs a very successful program in that Midwest region. And he's like, I think this is going to be cool. My guys think this is going to be cool. Let's give it a shot. And I'm curious to see what the feedback is as soon as he gets back to Ohio and how many matches he has very fast.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're kind of biased. We think everybody's going to love it.
I mean, we'd bowl one every weekend if we could.
If you're a competitor, why would you not want to do this? And for the purist out there, the toughest thing to go through sometimes is change. But you have to think about it. Is it making the game better?
Yep.
Did the 3-point shot make college basketball and the NBA better?
Probably. I couldn't think of it without it. So
you weren't around then, were you?
No, that's before my time.
Yeah, you know, they in college you couldn't dunk.
Well, that doesn't sound very exciting.
Can you imagine college basketball without dunking?
I'm trying to make it better.
The traditionalists. Well, heck, let's throw a peach basket up there. Bounce it off the board with a peach basket connected to it. It's time to change.
Yeah.
Sometimes change is hard, but it's for the better.
All right, next show. When is it? July 7th? That's
not next Tuesday.
Week after. Yes, that's July 7th. That's right before Junior Gold. So we
yes,
can give
we'll do a Junior Gold kind of preview, and then I can give you a quick roundup on how I do with the firecracker.
All right.
We'll see how that goes. I got to get some equipment punched, man. I've been doing nothing plugging for my players.
Hey, I'll come out to the firecracker and I'll be your coach for the weekend. How about that?
Will you do that? Will you be my ball rep?
Sure, you'll be right down the street. Might as well.
Be my ball rep.
Will do.
Be my ball rep, man. All right.
Pay me in lunch. We'll call it good.
Elbow me. Go to the axe. Go to the axe.
Ball change.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. I want to thank Muskingum head coach Doug Smith for being on the show, and everybody. Hey, give us some feedback. Let us know if we're off our rockers for trying this. Give us some feedback on our comments about recruiting. And once again, a big thank you to Mike and his staff for putting on the National High School Bowling Championship in Columbus, Ohio. We will definitely be back. All right, Jonathan, have a great week. Try to catch up.
Yeah, I know. Got a lot of stuff to do.
I know.
Clinic in Houston for us this weekend on Saturday down in Webster. So we'll go to teach some youth bowlers a little bit about sports shot in bowling college. And so that'll be fun.
Good luck with that. All right, that's it. Everybody, we're out of here.